Hello, welcome to Stretford Paddock. It's Wednesday, we're outside Old Trafford and this is your morning news. I'm Casey, and after a weekend that saw United fall further behind in the title race, Roy Keane annoy a load of Liverpool fans, and a Super Bowl performance that basically the only good thing for United fans was the weekend was in it and it was alright. It's fun, it's Wednesday now, and speaking of the weekend, I can't feel my face, it's -2 and I hate it. So let's get straight into the news and move on, and I apologise for that pun, I decided to make it, but let's go on into the news and let's talk about the match last night. We played West Ham, it was really boring, it went for 120 minutes and the only thing that I really wanted at the end was it not to be penalties and to see Amad Diallo come on the pitch. We saw the first ever kind of instance of the concussion substitutes with Issa Diop going off for a concussion, which gave us an extra substitute which we ended up not using, and then we get an extra substitute at extra time, so we ended up possibly being able to use 7 substitutes last night, which would have mean we would have probably changed the entire team. But there's been some comments, Solskjaer's been talking, my face is really numb right now, so if I start speaking awkwardly, we'll go with that. Solskjaer was talking about the goal. Scott McTominay, beautiful finish coming into the box, said Scott used to be a striker and he finishes with that authority. You see that he doesn't mind being in those positions. He smashed the ball into the net, and we've seen that throughout the season. He has 7 goals so far, and there was a stat last night that that's as many as he scored in his last 83 appearances before this season. So Solskjaer, talking about the game, says, of course you want to win every game. We want to challenge and we want to go to the FA Cup final. That's what we're here at United for. And you got to say, yeah, everyone wants to try and win a trophy this season. It seems the title race is a bit out of our hands at the moment, with City making such a good run of form and us dropping points in the last few games. But we've got to say that, we've got to go for trophies this season. The FA Cup looks like one of the best opportunities to do that. But Solskjaer did comment on how we need to be more clinical. He said we had about 15 to 17 shots in the end. We should have finished the game off earlier and finished in 90 minutes, but sometimes it doesn't happen. And he's kind of commented on the fact that we didn't take our chances against Everton, which then resulted in them getting a late goal and us drawing 3-3. So you've got to say that I feel like he sees the reasons that we need to improve. We saw when we were very clinical and took our chances. We beat Southampton 9-0. When we haven't, we lost to Sheffield 2-1, we drew with Everton 3-3, and we drew with Arsenal 0-0. So there's obviously room to improve. But he said he felt United dominated in the first half, and that seems to be a constant trend, that we're getting possession, we're not really scoring our chances. So there's we're in a bit of a weird situation at the moment, because we are playing well, but then we're not playing well. Is that the way to put it? Yeah, we're playing well, but we're not actually. It doesn't look on the score sheet like we're playing well. That's the way to put it. We'll go with that. So that is kind of what he's tried to say, and looking towards the weekend, he's probably going to look to improve that. Starting Cavani would probably be a great opportunity with that, and we might see Amad Diallo. We might see him come on, because it looked like we needed some more creativity off the wings, and he can offer that. Speaking of creativity, another segue for you, we're going to talk about some transfer news, and Manchester United have apparently, according to the record in Portugal, made an inquiry about Pedro Gonçalves. Now, Pedro Gonçalves used to play in the Premier League, or he used to play for a certain team in the Premier League. He's Portuguese. Have a guess which club that was. But he's been playing with Sporting this year. He's got 12 goals, 3 assists, and he's Sporting at the top of the table, so he's been playing really well. And apparently he has a release clause of 53 million, and he's kind of seen as the next Bruno Fernandes. Why we're getting linked with him, I do not know. I've seen Liverpool have also been linked with him, but it's sort of a sense of he's the next Bruno Fernandes, but we still have Bruno Fernandes. So it might only be that sort of sense of, if Bruno Fernandes for some reason leaves, we might look to get him for 53 million. But he has been in really good form, so I'm not really I'm taking this with a pinch of salt, basically. It's the Portuguese news. You've seen our name being thrown around left, right and centre when it comes to Portuguese players. So you have to take it with a pinch of salt. But would I mind him at Old Trafford? No. I mean, he'd be a good rotation option, but we have Donny van der Beek, we have Fernandes, so I wouldn't really want to see our money spent there. Now, speaking about where I would like our money to be spent, Waz in Germany, must be a fan of Wayne Rooney, that paper, have been said that Jadon Sancho would be on the selling list for Borussia Dortmund if they do not make the Champions League this season. And that kind of correlates with a lot of reports that we've seen so far this season that Jadon Sancho might be on his way out of Dortmund. They seem to be willing to let him go last season. This has been more willing to let him go this season to keep more offensive talents like Erling Haaland, like Giovanni Reina. Sort of, they see that Sancho's gone as far as he can go with Dortmund and they can cash in and get some money for him. At the start of the season, he hadn't been performing that well. He had been, obviously, he had that run without scoring a goal, but now he has 3 goals, 7 assists. He's been a very good creative force, and that's sort of what I think United want to get him for. They want him to be a very good creative force off the right wing, but we have seen reports of some people saying that the ship has sailed. Ornstein has said the ship has sailed, that sort of thing. But you never know, United. It could reignite interest, but I feel like Sancho is going to be on the move in the summer, and the sort of legs in that sort of sense. Speaking of another player from Borussia Dortmund, obviously Erling Haaland is looking to be on the move. Madrid apparently want him, we apparently want him, City apparently want him, Chelsea apparently want him. Basically, he's a very good player, he's a very good striker, a lot of people are going to want him. My personal opinion is I think City are kind of in the driving seat. It's that sort of situation where City know they need a player in a position, they'll throw a lot of money at him when they need to throw a lot of money, and they'll be like, be our striker for the next 5 to 6 years. United obviously have that connection that he brought him up at Mould, Solskjaer brought Haaland up at Mould, and then Real Madrid had the pull at their Real Madrid. So it's going to be an interesting fight. I think that Haaland's probably going to be one of our main targets. I feel like Edinson Cavani's extra year might be dependent on that. We'll have to see. But Erling Haaland, apparently, Florentino Perez is set on bringing on New Galactico, and he wants it to be either Haaland or Mbappe. That's according to reports in Spain. So we'll have to see. But I think that you've seen a couple of reports linking it with that. Well, I think it's going to be a very active transfer window in summer, and that's the sort of sense of that. I also saw that apparently United are linked with Konate, according to Bild and Christian Falk and that sort of thing. Konate, by the way, is the other central defender in the Leipzig machine. He's does the exact same thing as Upamecano. He's very similar attributes to Upamecano, very good on the ball, that sort of thing. Christian Falk has said that we're not in for Upamecano. Ornstein echoed this by saying Bayern Munich are in the driving seat for Upamecano, which you expected. It's a German transfer. He's going to go to Bayern Munich first because Bayern Munich is basically, you've won the Bundesliga. Do you want to win the Champions League? Go on then. I think Konate would be a good signing. Apparently he has a 40 million release clause, and that's the sort of centre-back we're looking at going into the summer window. So yeah, that's been just a general transfer roundup. Not it's going to happen until summer, but obviously you can see those moves start to form. We might sign someone beforehand, you never know. We might do what we do with Memphis Depay. We'll have to see. But it is really cold, so I'm going to wrap up the news here. We're going to be here again tomorrow. Make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be Alex Baggers probably with that news, and we're going to have more videos going out the week leading up to our watch long at the weekend, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Again, I have been Casey. This has been news outside of Old Trafford, and I'm going to get inside before it gets warm. See you next time.